Next story I wanted to talk about is about a guy named Rick Wiles. Now, I've talked about him a few times before, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an update on him because he's released some pretty unhinged videos recently. So I wanted to watch some of his other videos about this subject, which is going completely ballistic over anti-vax stuff. And then we'll watch the newer video that just came out. So let's watch one from late November 2021, not that old. Check this clip out.
What you have to do is end this madness, because their madness will never end if we don't stand up to it. 10 years from now, they will still be imposing vaccines on people in order for you to breathe. Oh, you want to breathe? Oh, you're going to have another booster.
Okay, well, I have to say, they've been, quote-unquote, imposing, vaccines on people since vaccines were invented in, like, the 1800s or something. They've always been available to people. We eliminated smallpox by using vaccines. Isn't it eliminated now? We have essentially eliminated polio, effectively, in the United States through vaccines. It's not, at least not as big of a problem as it used to be. We almost eliminated measles in the U.S. through vaccines, until anti-vaxxers got their hooks in the measles vaccine. There have always been vaccines for like 150-something years, or 200 years, somewhere in there. And they have done so much good. They've saved so many lives. And this guy is so unhinged from reality that he believes vaccines are the bane of our existence. Let's keep listening.
Oh, you want to breathe? Oh, you're going to have another booster. I mean, they're going to continue to restrict the rights of people until there is nothing left.
What rights have they restricted with the COVID vaccine? They haven't restricted anything. They put some vaccine mandates out, Biden did, but here's a little fun fact about that mandate. It wasn't a vaccine mandate because you had the option of getting out of it by being tested. If there's an option of opting out, it's not a mandate. As a matter of fact, other companies who just so happen to fucking hate Biden were even stricter about their mandates. Biden's mandate was either you had to get vaccinated or you had to be tested weekly for work. Companies were required to either test people weekly or they were required to be vaccinated, one or the other. Or they were going to be fined like a ridiculous amount of money. Fox News starts going after Biden over this vaccine mandate, of course. And as it turns out, Fox News' mandate is even stricter. They not only require you to get vaccinated, but if you refuse to get vaccinated, you have to be tested not once a week like Biden's, but once per day. I mean, how can you, in good conscience, shred Biden and scream about this vaccine mandate when that's your policy? Let's keep listening.
And so you have to stop them, and you have to be prepared for the unthinkable to be implemented to stop them.
What does that mean? That's kind of fucking concerning, isn't it? Be prepared for the unthinkable? Just wait. He gets more explicit in a second. He seems to be dancing around it at this immediate moment. He gets more specific.
We're going into World War, and it's a world war against tyrants. And the people are going to have to fight this war on their own against the tyrants.
Dude literally wants to go to war against anybody who is in favor of the vaccine, apparently. I mean, that was barely veiled language. Was that even veiled? Was that even a dog whistle? I don't know. I mean, I don't think that was even a whistle. That was just him straight up saying, I want to go to war with anybody who is in favor of the vaccine. If that doesn't scare the shit out of you, listen to this one.
Come on, left. We're going to meet you in the streets this time. You know what they're doing here in Florida? The governor wants a bill passed in Florida to empower citizens to and looters and rioters. Yes, sir. Get it done, Governor. The people are with you. We're going to defend this state of Florida. We're not going to put up with this stuff anymore. The left, you better pack up and flee. You better, if you're part of this communist revolution, lefties, you better get out of the country. If we find out you're a part of the communist revolution, we're coming after you. All right? I don't care. FBI, put my name down on a list. Go ahead and do it. Do it. I don't care.
Is that disturbing enough for you? I mean, it's beyond dog whistles now. Dude's no longer dog whistling. He's just coming out and saying it. He wants anybody to the left of him. I wanted to talk a little bit more about his views on vaccines, though, because he goes way unhinged on this shit. So this one is from mid-October 2021. Give this one a listen.
This is a global coup d'etat by the most evil cabal of people on the planet in the history of mankind. And if it is not stopped in the very near future, they will win. That's what's at stake, control of the world.
Who is they? I mean, this is something called Weasel Words. I've talked about Weasel Words before. He's naming some amorphous, some ambiguous they that rule the world and control everything, and they apparently want you dead. They always have these weird supernatural powers to control you in secret ways and do all this medical stuff to you and all this other weird shit. That's what this guy is all about. This guy is unhinged from reality. Let's keep listening.
Control of the world. They're putting eggs in people's bodies.
Putting eggs in people's bodies. Okay, go on.
If you didn't see yesterday's True News, you need to watch it. It's an egg that hatches into a synthetic parasite and grows inside your body. This is like a sci-fi nightmare, and it's happening in front of us.
The fact that it's a sci-fi nightmare didn't tip you off to maybe the idea that it possibly isn't real? Like maybe this whole fucking thing is fabricated? Who told you this? I'm sitting here wondering where he heard this, that the vaccine is a synthetic parasite that hatches in your body. And I'm wondering, like, I know he didn't see that on, like, Wikipedia or something, right? He didn't see that on CNN. He didn't even see it on Fox News. I don't think Fox News would go that far, although I could be mistaken. He probably heard it from some dude at his studio. One of his tech guys or one of his cameramen probably walked over and was like, hey, did you hear the vaccine is actually like a synthetic parasite that like hatches in your body? I bet that's where he heard this. But it doesn't end there. Does not end there. He just released a new video, a new clip. This one came out early December, so it's recent too. Give this one a listen.
The New World Order is in operation right now. The very thing that people warned for decades was going to happen is underway right now.
Oh, isn't that funny? The thing people warned about for decades. Okay, are you talking about like the apocalypse coming, that kind of thing? Is that the thing that people were warning about for decades? I mean, they have been talking about this for decades. They've been talking about this for centuries, really. Since the late 1800s at the very least. I know Jehovah's Witnesses were making end of days predictions. I mean, the 1840s, the Millerites were making end of days predictions, and from the Millerites came the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Seventh-day Adventists, and other groups. I guess you could say people have been prophesying this stuff for centuries at least, maybe even millennia. I mean, when you think about it, the apostles and the disciples after Jesus died, they thought the apocalypse was going to happen in their lifetimes. And here we sit 2,000 something or other years later. So yeah, I guess you could say people have been saying this for decades. What makes this moment special? And what makes you special that you have special insight into this information to be able to tell us that the apocalypse is here now, or that the New World Order is taking over now, instead of in 1988 or 1982 or 1975 with Jehovah's Witnesses or any of the others? Why at this moment is it happening, and how do you know that for a fact? He doesn't, of course.
Thing that people warned for decades was going to happen is underway right now. A global depopulation of the human race. In fact, what their goal is to change the human race. This is Satan in action. This is the return of the Nephilim, as in the days of Noah. They're changing the DNA of the human race. And only the resistors will remain as the pure humans on the planet. Listen to what I just said. Only those who resist this agenda will remain as the pure humans on planet Earth. If you don't die from the vaccine, your humanity will be taken away from you.
Can we get a timeline on that? Set a date for me so that I can prove you wrong in 3 months or 6 months or a year or whenever it happens to be. This actually sounds really similar to this. This dad is trying to pay his daughter to not get vaccinated.
I don't want money though. Like,
I know you don't, but I don't know what else to do.
you didn't do this to Michael and Kelsey. They already got it.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I know that? Why do you think I'm fucking crazy? Your mother got it. Why do you think I'm fucking crazy? My family is gone. My family is gone. By the end of this flu season, most of you will be dead. What the fuck do you expect me to be?
You ever wonder where that guy got it? From Rick Wiles and people like him. I don't know if he specifically watched Rick Wiles, but this guy is saying if you survive the vaccine, if you survive it, your DNA will be irreparably changed forever. You won't be human anymore. You're going to be like a demon, basically. That's fucking unhinged. I mean, I just talked about this woman last week, Stella Emmanuel. Her little chyron or whatever the fuck you call it says frontline doctor and demon slayer. This clip is just from last week. I talked about this.
If you've taken this vaccine, there is a way out. It is not yet the mark. You're still taking the name and the number of his name.
If you've taken the vaccine, it's not too late. It's not the mark of the beast yet. There's a way to get it out of your body and not take the mark of the beast.
You repent and cry out to God for mercy. He will deliver you. People, we have cast that thing out of a lot of people. When it is Lucifer, when it is the devil, when it is Luciferus, it can be cast out in the name of Jesus.
Rick Wiles and Stella Emmanuel and others are so disconnected from reality. What do we do about these people? What do we do? How do we solve this societal problem? Do we send out like an army of fucking therapists to work with people who are so deathly afraid of getting the vaccine because they believe they're going to turn into demons if they do? Like, how do you deal with this? This is fucking strange. This isn't the only example of Rick Wiles being strange either. If you wondered what kind of a person this guy is, generally speaking, let me give you a little bit of insight into some of Rick Wiles' other beliefs. Check this clip out. This is from late August 2021. He had some things to say about the Jews.
We're living in a Zionist matrix in this country. They control the media. They control the social media.
The media and the social media. Fascinating. Zionists. They control everything, apparently. For those of you who are unaware, Zionists are basically people who want Israel to control the world or whatever because they believe that it's God's chosen country, blah, blah, blah. It's weird. This guy is actually in favor of presidents who are pro-Israel for the most part. And let me tell you why. There's a really interesting reason for this. The reason he is in favor of presidents who are pro-Israel is because he believes Israel needs to exist as a nation before Armageddon can come. That's why Israel continues to be protected and defended by the United States to this day, because they need it to exist before Armageddon can come. The Jewish state is part of their conspiracy theories. It's part of their belief system, but that doesn't mean they have to like them. In fact, they don't. People like Rick Wiles and others blame them for killing Jesus and for all of that other stuff. They don't fit into their neat little picture of how Armageddon is going to play out. You know what's going to happen to the state of Israel when Armageddon plays out in these people's minds? It's going to be destroyed. That's going to be the end of it. They want Israel to exist because they need it for their prophecy, but they don't give a shit about what happens to Israel after that. With that in mind, with his viewpoints on record, let's keep listening and see what else he says.
They control major portions of the U.S. government And our country has been taken over. What we need in this country is a good old-fashioned American revolution to break the back of the Zionists. That's what we need in this country. You want America to be free? Break the back of the Zionist grip on this country and return America to Christ. The Zionists are Antichrist. When are you going to wake up, America, and realize you're in bed with the devil?
Does it get much more anti-Semitic than that? I think it might, actually. This one came out mid-November, 2021.
Now this guy, Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, says, we're not going to allow you to use your conscience as justification to not be vaccinated. Should I point out that Governor Pritzker is Jewish?
So? Holy shit. Why does that matter? My God. Who fucking cares if the dude is Jewish? What does that have to do with anything at all? What the fuck is going on right now?
Point out that Governor Pritzker is Jewish. The Pritzker family is one of the richest Jewish families in America. In fact, one of the richest families in America, in the Forbes 400 richest families. So we have a Jewish CEO of a pharmaceutical company saying, you and I are criminals.
Right.
We have a governor of Illinois who is Jewish saying, we're not going to allow you to use your conscience as a way to resist our mandates.
No, look, if you don't want to get vaccinated, that's perfectly fine. Just get tested every week. This was already covered. What the fuck is going on? Is it going in one ear and out the other? No, he needs this for his persecution complex. That's what it is. He needs this for his persecution complex. But unlike some people, I think this guy really deeply buys his own bullshit. Really. I think he really believes to the bottom of his heart the things that he says. I can't say that about like Ben Shapiro, for example, or Kent Hovind. There are some people that I think may not fully buy what they're saying. Or maybe they're just embellishing a little bit in an effort to spread the word or build on the cause. This guy, I think he buys it. I think he eats it hook, line, and sinker. And that might be even scarier.
What do we have here?
Yes, begin to see a pattern after a while.
Here's a pattern. The head of the CDC is Jewish. We can go down a long list. How many Jewish people are involved in this COVID operation? And a pattern forms. And they're making a tremendous amount of money. They're stripping people of their rights and freedoms. They've closed down churches. They've changed society. And now they're going to criminalize you and me for opposing their tyranny.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I haven't touched on the anti-Semitic aspect to this guy very much in the past, but he is extremely anti-Semitic. I honestly probably should have touched on it long before now. It's really, really weird how his conspiracy theories somehow always revolve around the Jews. Like, what the fuck? Why does it always route back to the Jews? He's like that dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia in front of that billboard thing or whatever it was with all the paper all over the place. Somehow always routes back to the Jews and the leftists and the communists.
Come on, left. We're going to meet you in the streets this time. If we find out you're a part of the communist revolution, we're coming after you.
And they're all trying to force you to do things that you don't want to do and take your rights away. This guy may be further down the rabbit hole than anybody else that I've covered. Maybe. I'm not sure. I would have to really think about it, but he is a top contender at the very least.